Hello, my name is Muriel and I love true crime.
I'm Nick, and I'm not a fan.
Thank you for joining us. Each week, I tell Nick about... Oh, no! Each week, I force Nick to listen to me tell him a story of a true crime. Welcome to Muriel's Murders.
Today, we resurrect a long-lost Muriel's Murders tradition, perhaps better left in its grave. That's right. Oh, I don't want these headphones on. That's right. Today, Muriel sits back as co-host, and I take over as researcher, writer, and host of this episode. Is this a fan favorite switcheroo? Do the people clamor for these rare episodes? Absolutely not, but we're doing it anyways. Hold on to your butts.
I clamor for them. I love it when you do this.
I don't do this podcast for you, Muriel. I do this podcast for the people.
Well, that's because you're selfish.
All right. Way back in August 2023, Muriel caught wind of an Australian case unfolding in real time and dedicated an episode to it, the Australian Mushroom Mystery. Well, all this time has passed, and now it is less of a mystery, so we wanted to do an update about the whole thing. Big thanks go to Sammy for keeping us updated on the case. This one's for you.
Thanks, Sammy.
Okay, so I am gonna recap the case as a whole, but if you want some of that sweet Muriel action, feel free to go back to our episode from August 30th, 2023 to get the full treatment, you know? But it's not necessary because I'll catch you up. Nick version. No promises. Okay.
We'll see if you can understand or follow it. Jokes, people, jokes.
I know, but that's also true for me. Let's see if I can understand or follow it. Okay. Where am I? Okay. Not sure of how many of you guys remember that episode, but Muriel had a very hard time pronouncing the names of Australian towns. So I can promise you I am going to try to do much better and fail miserably. I also promise that I will be worse overall at reading out loud. This is your first time ever checking out this podcast. God bless, you know? All right. Okay. So here we are. Get ready for the story of Erin Patterson and the beef Wellington from down under. We've got poison, pastors, a media sensation, bone-dried tears, a mushroom massacre, 3 dead bodies, and a handful of attempted murders. My sources are internet articles. Are you enjoying this so far? My sources are internet articles, pretty much all supplied by Sammy. So mostly from abc.net.au, ABC standing for Australian Broadcasting Corporation. Don't at me. Remember, wait, anything else you want to say, Muriel?
No, that's great.
Are you
I
into
am
this?
chuffed.
You're chuffed. You
Yeah,
like it. Okay.
I love it.
Remember, this is a true story involving all the horrible things that every other true crime story involves, but you signed up for it. Thank you, by the way.
Yep.
So it's your funeral.
Yeah. And this week, you get 3, all on January 31st. Don't at me. But we only did one Patreon last month, and so we wanted to acknowledge multiple apologies, Christmas, etc., etc. You get 3. They're all really, really good. This one's probably going to be the funniest, but I got one coming for you that is also going to be pretty good.
How are you going to try to make the people want the next one more?
I'm not.
You just did. You said, oh, this one's going to be the funniest, but yours is going to be better. Oh, but wait till the next one. That's when the real stuff happens.
Well, I think you literally just said that in your own.
I know, but you're not supposed to do that.
All right. Well, this is going to be the best out of the 3, so hold on to your butts.
Okay. All right, Muriel. Are you ready for this story?
No.
Neither am I. Let's get started. To get us situated with the backstory, let's start off by setting the tone with a delicacy Muriel knows well, the beef Wellington.
Yes.
Just this past Christmas, Muriel and her mother prepared an absolutely perfect beef Wellington, and I ate it. Muriel, would you please describe this classic dish for our listeners?
Yes, I'd love to, Nicholas.
Yeah.
So I think the cut might be Chateaubriand, or it's like a tenderloin. There's some sort of loinish, soft, gentle
It is a Chateaubriand is a tenderloin, and I know because I'm the one that actually picked it up from the butcher.
Okay, great. So that's the main cut. It's
fancy.
You make it it's like a log. It's expensive. It's fancy. And then you make a mushroom duxelle, which is like a pureed, sauteed mushrooms with like all kinds of good stuff in it. Some recipes, they call for pate to mix into it. So you take that, you coat the whole loin, and then you wrap that typically in prosciutto or some sort of moisture barrier. I think this year my mom used bresaola, which worked really well.
Yeah.
And that's because my dad doesn't eat pork. So that's like the beef version of freaking prosciutto.
Yeah.
And then you wrap the whole thing in this latticed puff pastry, and you basically blast it in the oven until the puff pastry rises because it needs a high temperature, puffs up, gets nice and brown. And then because it's all wrapped up, you put it on the counter, and then the carryover temperature is actually what cooks the loin. So it cooks slowly as it rests over like 25 minutes or something like that.
And it's really good.
It's
and
pretty
it's
good.
Really fancy.
It's
Okay.
fancy.
Okay, so you get this fancy beef tenderloin.
Buttery.
It's expensive. It has this beautiful like puff pastry outer layer to it. It's kind of a showstopper. But an often underappreciated element of this dish is the mushroom you mentioned.
Yeah.
Muriel, what would you look for in a mushroom that might make it into a beef Wellington?
Oh, I think that they just call for like criminy mushrooms, but I think you can do like mushroom mixes. You can do everything, but the point is that it's like very well pulverized. So you want it to be like chopped really, really finely, so it coats the meat.
Okay,
Great. Is
great.
that kind of what you're looking for?
Yes. I mean, I don't know. I'm actually curious, and the main thing I wanted to see is like but what sounds implied in this is you would avoid poisonous, deadly mushrooms.
Oh yeah, you would not use a poisonous mushroom,
Okay.
and you wouldn't have mushroom chunks. It's like a paste almost.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that makes you really different from Erin Patterson because she did not get that memo.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
she had a big chunky mess.
No, I was more thinking of the poisonous thing. But then you talked about the chunky mess.
Joking, jokes.
Okay, so here we are, right? We're in Los Angeles. We can get psychedelic shrooms anywhere.
Yes.
Right? You could literally walk into a smoke shop, which I have done,
Yes.
and buy really high quality psychedelic shrooms.
That's true. Yeah,
okay.
they're very easy
no
to get.
effort, you get them. I have no idea how to get poisonous shrooms. I would have no concept. If I was trying to kill someone with mushrooms, I would have no idea. Well, this story takes place in poisonous mushroom heaven, aka Australia. This is a land of deadly everything, and fungi is no exception. They spring up everywhere like sugary treats in Candyland. That's not really true. I'm just making a joke about that. Okay, but I am saying you could just walk through the woods and there they are.
Okay.
Problem is, there's also a lot of perfectly safe, delicious mushrooms too. So people like to go out and forage these mushrooms. They pick the good ones. They leave behind the deadly ones, unless your name is Erin Patterson.
Okay.
Because what Erin Patterson did was forage a bunch of shrooms so deadly, they are literally called death cap mushrooms. You can't get more on the nose than that. Actually, it is funny that some of the best psychedelic shrooms are called penis envy. They really like to just. Sometimes it's like a weird name. Sometimes it's like death cat, bro.
Yeah.
They'll kill you.
Bro.
Okay. And then she put them into these beef Wellingtons she served to her in-laws. Okay. Now, one thing I do think is a different, perhaps, between these beef Wellingtons and the one you made is I think she made individual ones.
Did she?
Yeah, I think that's true.
Oh.
I don't think it was one log. It was individual ones. Because I saw some photos of it that made it really seem almost like empanadas, kind of.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I couldn't. It seemed like beef Wellington singular, Wellingtons plural, kind of kept popping up in different places. And then the stock photo is like a singular log beef Wellington like you made.
Yeah.
But I saw some other photos that seemed like they were individual ones. So I'm not really sure.
That wouldn't be crazy to me. I mean, it would be easier to do that. I feel like.
Would it? I was thinking it'd be harder, more work, but I don't know.
You know what? I think I've seen a recipe like a British recipe. I might be wrong, but I think I saw one that did multiple fillets. Like if you can't get a whole Chateaubriand,
Yeah.
so like it would make sense if you had like fillet medallions or something like that.
Yeah.
Then that's just going to be in every grocery store. You don't have to specially order it. And
Sure.
sometimes they're on sale, so like that can make sense to me.
Okay. So, anyways, I've decided it wasn't that big of a detail.
That's fine.
It's interesting though. Okay, so these shrooms are brutal too. These
It
death
is a
cap
big
mushrooms.
detail because some people ate it and got sick, and some people didn't.
I'm getting there, fool, but it has more to
isn't-
do. The evidence had more to do with the plates that they were served on than whether they're actual individual Wellingtons or not.
Whoa!
I'll get there. Okay. So these shrooms are brutal. First, they trick you by looking and tasting like regular old straw mushrooms, the kind common in lots of Asian cooking. It's not like you bite in and want to spit out something nasty right away. It doesn't taste like poison. You bite, you chew, and you swallow because they taste good. The first wave of this death cap mushroom poisoning basically hits you like basic food poisoning, stomach pain, extra gross poofing, barfing. You know the drill. You're sick, bro. What'd I say?
Poofing?
Oh, I meant to say pooping.
Ah.
But you probably poof a bit too.
Yeah.
Okay. When it goes away like normal food poisoning would, then it goes away like normal food poisoning would, and you think you're in the clear. Wrong. For 30% of people who get poisoned, 7 to 10 days later, the toxins have completely destroyed your liver and your kidneys, and you drop dead. Irreversible damage, no antidote, no cure. Death cap shroomin is not a joke.
Whoa.
Okay.
I did know some of this, but that's still like...
No, you
forgot
did
about
because you told me all of that.
it. Yeah, but that was like 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was.
I don't remember anything.
It was. And also we'll get to it, but these people didn't have that honeymoon period because they ate so many of it. So much of it. So
wow.
they ended up going to the hospital and just dying.
Yeah.
Okay, so who is Erin Patterson? She's Australian. She's a woman. She's a mother of 2. A wife who had been separated from her husband for a few years at the time of the poisoning. She seemed a little shy and standoffish to her neighbors, and apparently she was into unicorns.
Okay, I do remember that part.
Okay. She lives in a beautiful little town called Leongatha, where she started a bookstore and some kind of newsletter, if I remember correctly after skimming through Muriel's episode she did. Okay, that's really not that important. There's dairy farming in this town, and people tend to go to church. It's a very Christian little part of Australia.
I hate to interrupt you.
What?
We did not do a mic check.
Yeah, we did.
We did?
We literally did.
You promised?
I do promise.
Okay.
Yeah, we did.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Now that I'm the producer, just kidding. I'm not doing anything.
No, I
but
actually
listening.
should check to make sure we're still recording. Yeah, we
Okay,
are.
okay.
So what kind of person is Erin? Erin is the kind of person who would invite her husband's parents and aunt and uncle over on a Saturday for a luxurious beef Wellington lunch.
Were they still married at this point?
They just used the word separated, and
Okay.
I'm not really sure in Australia what that means exactly.
So they were married but not living together.
Definitely
probably.
not living together. There were some custody issues that seemed to be going just fine. Actually, the co-parenting seemed to be going well. These grandparents, Simon's parents, her husband's name is Simon, who were over for lunch, played a big part in the kids' lives. So there's like mixed family. Everything seems to be like okay, except for people just kind of think Erin's a bummer, I guess.
Yeah.
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 Okay. And Erin is, but also not a terrible person. She's like, might be the kind of person who would use this nice lunch as a way to reconcile a few differences she had with their son, maybe work out some custody issues, just talk things through. Erin is the kind of person who would put death cap mushrooms into her beef Wellington undoubtedly. But is she the kind of person who would do this on purpose?
Okay, that's the question.
Yes.
Yeah.
At the end of our original episode, that was unknown, even though pretty much everyone in the public was convinced she absolutely killed her lunch guests on purpose.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So the lunch led to the death of her husband Simon's parents, Don and Gail Patterson, and Simon's aunt, Heather Wilkinson. this aunt, Heather, had a husband, Ian, who was also at the lunch. He was a well-liked Baptist minister and was still in the hospital in critical condition at the time of our original episode.
The only one who was still alive.
Only one still alive. Very unclear if he was going to make it or not. The 4 guests were all between the ages of 66 and 70. Erin in her late 40s at the time of the lunch. She sat down with them and also ate this beef Wellington situation. She herself went to the hospital complaining of stomach problems, but she refused to be admitted. Okay. At the time of the original episode, there was no cause of death yet. It was not official. The testing was going to take weeks and no charges had been filed. Okay. So back then, with all of that true, no cause of death, no charges filed, why was the public so convinced that she was a murderer and not just a terrible cook? Why was that true? Okay, so I'm going to tell you why. Let me make sure this is recording. Fill the silence for a second.
Okay, well, Cat's been good. He hasn't peed on anything. That's been great.
I'm back.
Okay. He bit me really bad the other day for no reason.
Okay. All right. So the police did do an initial search of the house, which makes sense. Like something they would do if it was 100% an accident, they would still search it and try to figure out what happened. So that's not automatic anything. She gave a no comment interview to them at the time of this search, which is, again, seems like something any lawyer would say to do.
Yeah, totally.
But people were not pumped on it. So that was the first thing. Like, oh, why'd she give a no comment interview? Okay. But then the police did eventually officially announce she was a person of interest. And the big breakthrough in the court of public opinion came when the local television news crew interviewed her outside of her home, getting out of her SUV with groceries.
They kind of ambushed her, right?
Yeah, I mean, ambush
wasn't like a setup interview.
And it also, they weren't being really aggressive, and she wasn't acting like freaked out by them. She wasn't acting like she was being ambushed, but they definitely just were outside of her house. She pulled up and they're like, hey, Erin, what's going on? Do you think you did it on purpose?
Yeah.
Or not on purpose, but like, did you feed them death cap mushrooms? Like, what happened at the lunch? Okay, so she talks to the camera and she's sobbing and or fake sobbing.
Okay.
And it's all about how sad she is and how devastated she is. The people smell blood in the water. And they think she's guilty for sure.
Based on this video.
Body language experts weigh in, and the consensus is, oh, she's faking it super hard. That's just what everyone said, including you.
I know. But you said give her a chance.
My initial take was to cut her slack. You know, like she's a weirdo. You know,
she might not cry tears,
and she
could be dehydrated.
It's also just in a weird situation. You know, it's like, who's to say how someone should behave when like their whole family gets wiped out from something that you might have done.
Yeah,
you know, maybe you just can't comprehend the horrible accident that you unleashed.
You have a very soft heart.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I'm a fucking rock hard. Are you kidding me?
Oh my God.
Said what I said. No taking it back. Okay. Can't back out of that one. Okay. All right. So what? You know, maybe she's a weird situation. So what if she keeps rubbing her eyes and checking to see if there are tears?
Looking literally.
She's like this. One thing that's happening is I have to look at my script. I'm not looking at you. Are you looking at me or are you looking at yourself in the
I'm
camera?
looking mostly at you. And for some reason, every time I take a drink of water, I look at myself.
Just to see if you're nailing it?
I think it's because it's distracting. So I feel like I'm trying to make sure that I'm like not. But it's also like makes me laugh because I'm drinking out of an old pickle jar. And it looks really bad. I don't know. But I'm looking mostly at you.
Okay. So for sure it does look pretty fake, the crying.
I thought it looked super fake.
And her comments are definitely giving like pre-planned statement vibes, which I can understand why she would be coached into that by a lawyer, but we actually don't know if she's even talked to a lawyer at this point.
Yeah.
Okay. So Muriel was hardcore in the camp of she's a liar. I was on the fence, and you know, just to like be a jerk in the thorn in everyone's side. I still don't want to jump on the she's guilty hive mind. of the situation.
That's fine. Whatever you want. I don't care.
Rock hard. But yes, the video is definitely not great. Okay. Pretty much everyone gloms onto the idea that she's the poisoning type, just based on that she seems like kind of a loser essentially and like passive, and be like, well, if she's the kind of person that would kill someone the way passive aggressive people kill someone with poison.
Yeah.
Like they're basically
she
just
fits
calling
some
her
archetypes
a nerd.
of like people who do tend to poison. I think like women are more likely to poison.
Mm-hmm.
There's like different, but I hear you. I mean, I think that there are there are some sort of like known characteristics of people who poison.
Yeah.
So it's not just like she's a weirdo.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. People aren't nice about it, you know?
No, I know they're not that nice.
Also, other things that people are like, what is that about? Is like, she made sure the kids were out of the house.
Yeah.
Nowhere to be found during the
Yeah.
thing. And it really was a gigantic amount of death cap mushrooms.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how they knew at this point, but apparently everyone was, I guess they must know. They knew that. Sorry, I do know, because there was none of this bounce back period.
Yeah, they
it was
got
like the
really
people got
sick.
incredibly sick,
Yeah.
which we'll talk about more in detail coming up here. And then it did come out to the public that her husband Simon had almost died from unidentified stomach problems twiise that prior year.
And didn't get divorced. Didn't tell his parents, hey, don't eat at her house.
Correct.
But he had these like chronic, unexplained gastro problems.
Well, once he was in a coma for 2 weeks,
I know.
hospitalized for 21 days. That's really intense. Can you imagine being in a coma for 2 days? 2 weeks.
I mean,
That's drastic.
it's so drastic.
It's like a miracle he survived.
Yeah.
And once he was hospitalized for a week, the second time he was hospitalized for a week, and then he had some kind of long-ass recovery. In fact, when we aired the original episode in August of 2023, Simon still hadn't fully recovered. That was part of it.
He was still sick. Her ex-husband was still sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is very much a dash in the guilty column. It's like,
It didn't look great for her.
it didn't look great. Then she tells police she couldn't be guilty because she fed some of the leftovers to her children.
Yeah.
After she scraped off the mushrooms and pastry part of it. So it just seems
That part seemed really crazy to me. Either that she was dumb or like that didn't happen, or if they're individual,
right.
then she may have like made some that had no death cap mushrooms in them.
Well, we'll talk about this a little bit later too, but also then the additional crazy part was that she would just like didn't want to have the kids tested for any toxins, which is like, dude, they ate the same food that have all these people in the hospital. I'm not sure if they were dead. I don't think they were dead at the point when she refused the hospital
Yeah, she's
help.
like, oh, it's all good.
Yeah.
though. Whatever, man.
Right.
They're just kids.
That seems pretty much she knows they're not poison. and
Yeah, I
other
mean, I think
people
this
are.
is sort of part of the whole court of public opinion,
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
She also says a series of things to the police about which mushrooms she used and how she prepared them, and it really just starts to sound like she's lying. So for starters, she was known to be an experienced mushroom forager to some degree.
Yeah.
And should absolutely know what's what. Like, no one forages mushrooms out there without knowing what death cap mushrooms are and being able to identify them.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't happen. She owns a dehydrator that she uses for mushrooms, but says she bought a hand-labeled package of dried mushrooms from a store, and that's what she used for lunch.
Yeah.
So it was like, well, why would you buy these if you're known for dehydrating mushrooms?
Well, and like she had dehydrated mushrooms, but she was like, oh, well, this specific package came from this store.
Right. So no one is able to find any store that sells any kind of hand-labeled dried mushrooms.
Yeah.
And at first she said, oh, it was an Asian store that I don't remember. But then later she drops, or at the hospital, actually, she dropped the name of the store, Woolworths, which we'll talk about also.
Yeah.
Anyways, she totally had a dehydrator. The police end up finding her dehydrator at the garbage dump that she says, she's like, oh, I threw that away a long time ago, but really threw it away like the day after the poisoning, like right before they inspected her house. She says she lied to police. So when they're like, what's up with these lies? She said she did so because she was panicked and thought she might lose her kids because of this like irresponsible accident. And if they see that the dehydrator is tested and it shows she dried her own death caps, she's just like, I'll lose my kids. It shows I'm irresponsible. That's why I lied. The way an innocent person might panic and try to cover up their tracks, even though it wasn't malicious.
Okay.
Okay. So we ended. This is all just from the last episode. So we ended last episode with no official test results coming back, no statement from Simon, the husband, tons of evidence to inspect, no charges filed, 3 dead, 1 in critical condition.
That's right.
That's where we left
Yeah.
off. Okay. And everyone's thinking she's guilty. Well, to pick up with some new info, let's go to Ian Wilkinson, our last surviving lunch guest who was in critical condition. I'll just jump to the good news. He survives.
Oh, great.
It took heroic efforts from doctors, surgeons, and round-the-clock care of nurses. And even though he was fully expected not to make it, he did pull through.
Wow, good for him.
Yeah, had like really intense like liver transplants, and they really pulled him back from the brink of death.
Wow.
And he was back to preaching 6 months later.
Oh my God.
Dr. Stephen Werlow, director of intensive care at Austin Health, the hospital in Melbourne that the 4 victims were taken to, said it's not just like only extremely rare to have a person with such severe symptoms and multiple organ failures. It's basically unheard of to have 4 at once. He was like, these are the 4 sickest people in the entire state.
Yeah.
I guess of Melbourne. Melbourne's a state or a province or something. He said that in the entire state.
Wow.
He described them as, quote, devastating unwell, Ington. Just kidding. He didn't say the Ington part. I just added that. He called them devastatingly unwell. R.I.P. I'm not trying to make light.
Oh, really?
R.I.P. I'm sorry. Okay, it became very clear very quickly that they were not going to make it and were put on life support machines and dialysis almost immediately. They were able to complete a liver transplant for Don, Simon's father, but it just wasn't enough. The mission sort of shifted over to make them as comfortable as possible, surround them with their family, and just let them have as peaceful final few hours as they possibly could. Yeah. As she lay dying, Heather Wilkinson thanked Dr. Chris Webster, a different doctor, for taking such good care of them. And he was like, she said that to me and was being like so sweet to me while she knew and I knew that she was dying. Yeah. Like he did not feel like he was able to give her the real care. And the family, they were all very like sweet and appreciative, and it sounds like it was this, the family really came together at the hospital in those last few
Erin
hours.
there?
Yes.
Yeah.
So this Dr. Chris Weberson says he knew Erin Patterson was guilty almost immediately.
Why?
Well, because while the rest of the family was there behaving like how I'm talking about, and in the very beginning of it, losing their minds and totally panicked, Erin seemed not to care at all. He asked her where she got the mushrooms from, and she answered Woolworths, which is the name of a grocery store. And he was like, the way she said it, I knew she was lying. I just knew that she didn't get them from there.
I mean, if it's a chain grocery store, like they're not going to be selling packages of hand-labeled dried mushrooms.
Especially that are death cap mushrooms. Also, there's also that part.
Yeah. No, I mean, yes. And I think like that was part of it. I think she was saying, oh, I got it from this like Chinese grocer. And they're like, the imports on mushrooms from China in particular was just very, very strict. Like there's just, that is such a kind of impossible thing. Yeah. Unless they were locally foraged, so anyway. Yeah. But Woolworths like wouldn't have anything like that. That's like,
Anyways, so Dr. Webster was also totally freaked out the way Erin argued with hospital staff about not getting tested and refusing any care. And I watched the CCTV footage, and it just seems like a person who's like in a hurry to get out of there, and she like circles the like refuse care thing with like all this agitation.
Yeah.
You know, and she's like, I'm leaving now. Thank you.
Yeah.
And they're like, dude, you just ate. Like, you just ate the same food that these people ate. Like, you need to be tested.
Totally.
And
especially with the bounce back thing.
right. And she is claiming that she's having diarrhea, but she's just like weird and aggressive about it.
Who doesn't, you know? Jesus Christ.
So the doctor like called her immediately. It was like, get back here. And she just wouldn't answer her phone. He called her multiple times. And then he eventually called police saying like, I'm concerned that there's this woman who refuses to be tested. I suspect death cap mushroom poisoning. And he didn't say anything about her otherwise suspicious behavior. He just said, I'm concerned about this. And he also said, he was like, when I was making that call, he was like, I knew it would eventually become evidence in a courtroom in her murder trial.
He's like 100%.
Yeah, for sure. And he was right about that. That was evidence. So you did talk about this in the last episode, but it did come to light too that during this initial hospital situation, Simon did just straight up accuse Erin of poisoning his parents. And this, as we know, did not come out of nowhere. So as we mentioned, he had been hospitalized for severe food poisonings, but by the end of our last episode, we hadn't actually heard anything from Simon. So let's get caught up on him real quick. Firstly, he fully suspected Erin of poisoning him in those prior times. He wasn't like, oh yeah, I just got food poisoning. He absolutely was like, oh, Erin tried to poison me. But he was not making it known to people. At one point he did tell a doctor, and the doctor was basically like, I'd probably keep that to myself.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
The way Simon showed the doctor a lot of grace, he was like, I felt like he was being compassionate and listening to me, but I think you would only say that to someone if you really didn't believe them.
Yeah.
Which maybe comes back to be, well, we'll get to that later. Where am I? So prosecutors did eventually charge her with 3 counts of attempted murder for these Simon poisonings, but ultimately these charges were dropped.
Okay.
And they didn't say this, but it's just occurring to me now that maybe the doctor saw what his symptoms were and were like, okay, you're not poisoned, bro. Which could be true. Because they eventually felt like they just didn't have enough evidence, so that it was dropped. But starting back in 2021, 2 years before the lunch attack, she was accused by Simon, and eventually there were charges of attempted murder brought to her. She was accused of poisoning Simon with penne bolognese served in a Tupperware container during a camping trip. And then during another camping trip in 2022, it was chicken curry, and that was what put him in a coma.
Whoa.
And then finally, a third time, there was a vegetable wrap situation. That time he was passed out. He did go to the hospital. He suffered slurred speech and possible seizures, but it sounds like the most minor of the 3 poisonings.
I am just like floored by if you think someone's poisoning you and you just keep eating the food. That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
But maybe not. Maybe you're just like, I'm paranoid.
Yeah, right. I think that's probably, third time's a charm, I guess.
I mean, if I thought you were poisoning me, even on accident, like if I thought, oh, okay, I eat food that you make me and I get incredibly sick, I would be like, you know what? I think I should take over cooking.
Especially not like the first time it was like they're going on a camping trip and she's like, oh, here's some pasta from the house in a Tupperware. It's some sort of like leftover situation. It's like, yeah. And then the next time it was like she brought chicken curry to a different camping thing. That's not like, it's like, oh, did you cook this 3 days ago and it had been sitting out? Is the food just rotten? Are you bad at food, management or whatever?
Yeah. I would just be like, okay, I'm going to take over this because I'm not going to keep getting sick.
Yeah.
Even if I didn't think you were poisoning me.
Yeah, right.
I'd be like, I'm
done.
Food. You're done.
You're done. So while doctors did say some of this resembled symptoms of rat poisoning, no official test results came back identifying anything in particular as the causes. There was a medical analysis done eventually, I think by Erin's defense team, that said his symptoms were consistent with low potassium levels, at least on one of the things. It's like if you have really low potassium levels, you can slip into a coma or some shit like that.
I don't believe that.
It really
the poison causes low potassium.
Okay. It really does seem like she poisoned him, but the evidence just was nowhere near as strong as the Wellington lunch evidence, so they ended up ditching those
Hate it. All right.
charges. Okay, so I've got a few updates, some juicy, gossipy details about the logistics of this beef Wellington luncheon. So first of all, Simon was supposed to be at the lunch, but at that time he was actually worried Erin would poison him at this lunch.
No.
So he canceled. He was like, I'm not coming to lunch, and came up with an excuse, and Erin texted him back trying to get him to change his mind and like come, but he wouldn't.
No.
Simon,
and he let his parents go.
Well, Simon had joked with his sister about Erin poisoning him, but he was convinced that he was her only target and that she would never try to poison the grandparents or anyone else. But he didn't tell his parents about his suspicions, and obviously this is something he regrets deeply, obviously. The other plot twist that did not sit well for Erin at the end of the day was that it turns out the real reason for this lunch is that Erin had been lying to her family about a cancer diagnosis.
Oh,
so they were
classic.
there under false pretenses. Like she lured them in essentially.
Because she was like, I have cancer and I just want you to visit me.
Yeah, I think it was like, I have cancer and I want to, I don't know, something.
She wasn't doing it to announce she had cancer or to announce she didn't have cancer.
She had been telling them she had cancer.
And so she was, okay, so it's like more of like a ploy for
Stop
sympathy.
looking at yourself.
I can't. It's impossible. Don't you look at yourself?
I don't have you're being filmed on a camera that has a mirror thing. I'm using.
I think if you had this one, you'd be staring at yourself the entire time.
You're probably right about that.
100% right about that.
Yeah, so that just ended up being one of her many lies that did not end up playing well with the jury.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. That's messed up.
So, with that in mind, let's go ahead and just break down Erin Patterson's lies.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of them.
Okay.
First, she straight up told police that she had never foraged mushrooms and did not own a food dehydrator. On that initial inspection of the house, they immediately found a food dehydrator operation manual for the exact machine they later found footage of her throwing away at the dump.
Girl.
She's just clearly on CCTV footage of just going to like this dump and carrying like it just couldn't be more clear as day. They also found on her computer that she had in fact been reading up on where death cap mushrooms were being found. So there's a website called iNaturalist. It's like a community board kind of warning, like peer-to-peer system that people are like, okay, I was out foraging or just hiking or whatever. I found death cap mushrooms in this location. Please be careful. It's like they alert each other to where these things are so that you know to be careful there. So cell phone data shows her phone pinging at towers really near those spots like the day after she read those posts. So it was like on one day she's reading, oh, be careful, there are death cap mushrooms here. The next day her cell phone is there. And then like a week later they're like, oh, be careful, there are death cap mushrooms here. And then her phone pings there the next
Not
day.
anymore. I got them all.
Yeah, so that's pretty rough.
Yeah.
What is this? What did I write? Not present evidence in court. Oh, and then they did find, again, this was not presented as evidence because the charges were dropped, but they did find that she was researching barium carbonate, quote unquote, around the time of Simon's third poisoning, and barium carbonate is a kind of rat poison.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, she's definitely poisoning Simon.
there's she just straight up lied about buying any mushrooms at the store. If I understood this one article correctly, it sounds like this is maybe I missed, so maybe this isn't a big deal because they use the word pulverized.
Yeah.
And you use the word pulverized, but I got the sense that she dried these mushrooms and then ground them into like a powder.
That's pulverized.
That
That's
is so
same.
you would do that in a beef Wellington.
I mean, you can. We didn't.
Okay.
Like
You did.
Yeah, we did not.
You did not.
No, but I mean, it's kind of like the way I would look at it is it's kind of like adding a little like pre-made chicken stock to your homemade chicken stock to kind of like boost the flavor up.
Okay, so that's a legit cooking thing.
I could definitely see that just feeling like it has more. It's more mushroomy. I mean, the texture of the mushroom is not as. I kind of think it's not like you want it to be very small.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think you'd pulverize all the mushrooms, but you could mix in powdered with the.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So I read that as that it was like a weird, that it was kind of like a.
I've never
weird
seen
way to
I've
do
read
it.
a few recipes and I've never seen that, but I also don't think it's like crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then there's the matter of her explosive diarrhea. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So so she's like, oh yeah, I'm totally, no, I am sick. I'm having explosive diarrhea. Well, the next day, with her children's grandparents at the hospital, like dying, she took her kids for an hour drive to get her son to some kind of lesson. I think it was like a flying lesson. I'm not really sure, but they were like, okay, so she was in the car for an hour. She said, she was like, oh yeah, I totally had to pull over and take some emergency dumps, but the kids do not remember her.
The kids would remember that.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me? How much the kids remember that?
There was CCTV footage, that's closed caption, security footage.
Yeah.
Of her, however, walking very calmly into the ladies' room of a gas station. She was inside the gas station for less than 9 seconds, came right back out and went ahead and bought some sandwiches.
Oh, yeah. I got to replenish those carbohydrates.
This is like, I watched the footage, is like officially like not diarrhea behavior.
Totally, because you know what it's like.
I've hurried to a toilet many a time. This was not that. That's not what she was up to. She was meandering. I think she went in and washed her hands and came right back out.
Yeah.
I also don't know exactly what this means, but she is wearing the exact same outfit that she's wearing in the infamous fake crying outside of her car interview. It's like this gray sweater, her black purse, and these white pants. She's wearing it in that footage. She's wearing it in the footage. It's like she never changed. It was like also when she threw away the dehydrator.
She's wearing the same.
And there's these white pants, and in the news clip, I watched like a news clip about them like catching the people up on the evidence of the case. And the news reporter, this whole like walking into the ladies' room and out, made a really like big point about how she's wearing her white pants.
Like to drive when you have diarrhea?
Yeah, as if they would be like stained shit brown or something. I was like, all right, white pants. He's like, look at those crystal clear white pants.
Yeah, I mean, if you shit in your pants, then you just go home. It doesn't matter. You think if you were wearing black pants, that it would be fine?
He would just,
you know what I mean? Like, you can't just poop in your pants.
I don't know why he's
they're dark color.
That's
so stupid.
He was really acting like this is like my journalistic insight that she did not have diarrhea because you can't see any shit stains.
That's insane.
Yeah, and then it really just seemed like she lied about her kids eating it at all.
Yeah.
It's just like any reasonable person would like be like, yeah, obviously you get the kids tested.
I mean, to be fair, she's not that reasonable, like kind of generally in life.
I don't know if that's true. Like no one...
Didn't she like lie about having a DUI? Like,
oh, I don't remember that.
I think she was like kind of on the cusp of like.
I mean, she's obviously separated.
She lied about cancer.
Yeah, but they didn't know it was a lie at the time.
That's fine. You're saying a reasonable person would do X, Y, and Z.
Oh, right. She's clearly not reasonable. Yeah, that's true. So she could have fed them. You're suggesting that maybe she did feed. I'm suggesting she obviously didn't feed them.
I don't think she did, but I also don't think like anybody would know. I mean, Simon thinks, oh, well, she's just going to kill me. And it's like, oh, actually, I'm just going to kill like not only your parents, but your aunt and uncle. Like that's,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think she's playing some sort of 4D chess where I'm not sure that we know for sure she wouldn't poison her kids, but she didn't. So that's good.
There was, I'm just going to read this. This was enough. So all those lies, basically, like the police, whatever the word is, investigation, it's just like very clear. There's like, they have more than enough to charge her with.
Yeah.
3 counts of murder and 1 count of attempted murder. Yeah. Okay. So they're just like, yeah, clearly she's being charged. They go to court. Okay. So anyways, so the prosecution's case is pretty straightforward. Erin Patterson had experience foraging for mushrooms. She stayed up to date on where the death caps were blooming, knew they were deadly, went to those exact locations she identified through the website, lied to her in-laws about having cancer so that they would come over, laced the beef Wellingtons with pulverized death cap mushrooms to hide. See, I'm saying to hide them. Maybe I just invented that. Maybe she wasn't actually accused of hiding the death cap mushrooms. But maybe she was.
I think she was, because the thing is that you wouldn't the recipe calls for fresh mushrooms, and maybe you'd rehydrate them and and use them, but like you don't want like chewy mushrooms.
I think the idea, if I understood it correctly, the idea is like she didn't just put death cap mushrooms into this recipe. She did something that would hide them in this recipe.
Yeah, I think that is true.
Right.
I'm just saying adding pulverized mushrooms to a mushroom paste to me doesn't seem like way crazy.
Sure, yeah, I get it.
But absolutely, she's trying to be like, oh, there's no pieces of mushroom and death cap in there.
Yeah. So then the prosecution's like, she did this. She then gave her guests these laced Wellingtons, and then she gave herself a clean one. And then after she did all of that, she lied time and time again to hide the truth.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was real convincing evidence, but one thing that was not convincing was the motive, which they never really laid out. And the defense, Erin's defense, leaned into this heavily. Erin Patterson's children loved their grandparents. These were people very much in the kids' lives, and it sounded like they offered a lot of support to Erin. And I didn't do a big enough of a deep dive rabbit hole kind of thing, but it sounds like they were helping with childcare and maybe money, and it was just like there would be no reason whatsoever that Erin would want them gone.
Yeah.
They weren't trying to take the kids away. They weren't extorting her for money. They weren't even mean to her.
You're such a producer, and I'm not. I'm
What?
so sorry. I'm getting a weird message on this. It says internal error and unknown errors occurred. Reconnect. And then another one that says actual recording quality is higher.
Tight. Just leave it.
Okay.
The last time this happened, all right, I don't know. Is there a button to hit reconnect?
Yes.
All right, hit it. Last time that happened, it ended up being fine. We're just going to keep going. Worst case scenario, we'll just use the audio and there will be no video.
Great.
Okay. This says she had no criminal record, but maybe that's wrong. Maybe you're saying this thing about a DUI.
I thought that there was some sort of DUI thing, but honestly, it was 2 years ago. Why would I remember that? I don't know.
Well, I just listened to it. Why would I not remember it? I feel like you're right and I'm wrong. Okay.
Well, that's good for me.
Rock hard. Okay. Yeah, there's just no motive, and there is definitely no ill will towards Heather, the aunt, or Ian, the husband, the pastor. So it's just like, what's up with that? And as for lying to the police, the defense explained it as the panic behavior of a terrified innocent person. In the face of a horrific accident, she freaked out and told whatever lies she could come up with because she was scared.
Yeah.
The They say she lied about the cancer because she was embarrassed about an upcoming gastric bypass surgery. And I don't know, I guess she was like, oh, I think that she was just, I'll tell them it's cancer. So then I'll go into the hospital and come out thinner and be like, I lost weight because of the cancer after a day. I don't know. That's what they tried to say, though.
All right, well.
So the trial was as big a circus as you can imagine, dubbed the trial of the century, which at this point basically means next to nothing. Trial of the century. It's like if you commit, what's going on now?
Saying, do I want to join?
Don't hit join. Did you hit join yet?
No.
See the three little buttons over there?
Yeah.
Go use a second camera. Type.
Now it says join session with second camera.
I don't know. Just leave it.
We're so good at this. We have to figure out how to do video correctly, right? Are we doing this forever? All right.
Damn it. That was like, are you living in a nightmare? I think the answer might be yes. Are you doing this forever? All right. Oh yeah, trial of the century. It's like if you commit a crime at this point and it's not the trial of the century, like, is it even a crime?
Yeah, right.
You know
but
what I
that's
mean?
like it was a huge. I mean,
it was a huge deal.
Facebook groups was huge.
No, it really took over everyone's imagination. People were really into it. There were packed courtrooms. Audience members of the court were being thrown out for taking selfies. Lawyers openly complaining they couldn't concentrate because too many journalists were typing too loudly. There was a juror replaced because, of course, he was talking about the case.
Oh, my gosh.
At one point, Erin Patterson caused a scene because she was doubled over laughing hysterically with the two guards that were there to protect her. I don't know.
Like a joke? Like they told a joke and she thought...
They were having a moment between the three of them. So there were the same guards protecting her every day in and out of court, and they were obviously, there was some closeness, and at one point they were just really laughing hard.
Yucking it up.
One of the prosecution's witnesses left the courthouse walking really slowly and strutting as he passed all the media photographers and then like striking poses. And then he like walked to the end and he was like, hey, do you guys want me to do that again? And I couldn't find if anyone said yes or if anyone said no.
Yeah.
But I feel like either way, that's very funny. Like if they're like, yeah, take another lap, that'd be hilarious. And if they were just like, no, dude, we didn't take photos of you the first time. Why would we do it the second time? Like either way, it's pretty funny.
Then he turned around and he pooped his pants. They're like,
I know. If the glove fits, you must acquit.
Yeah.
Like if the pants are white, you must not indict. Or I don't know. Something. At one point, there was this controversy over what was called the cat post. So this was like a piece of evidence, I guess. So back in 2020, 3 years before even a year before the first Simon poisoning, Erin went on a poison like Facebook page, and she said something along the lines of like, I foraged these mushrooms. My cat ate one, is now vomiting. What are these? Like, are these poisonous mushrooms? And then she posted a picture of death cap mushrooms. Which proves that she
knew what death cap mushrooms
what they were.
Yeah.
Or proves to whatever, maybe not. But the real problem with it was that she never had a cat.
Oh,
the cat post made a lot of people do that.
Oh, that's scary. She's so creepy, dude.
Yeah. The courtroom drawings are also.
I saw them. They are not flattering. they're a little bit unprofessional, I would say.
Like a caricature drawing at the circus or whatever at the county fair.
It's too much.
All right. Ian Wilkinson, the survivor, took the stand and testified that all the guests were served on gray plates while Erin ate from an orangish tan plate. The prosecution had like 50 witnesses, I think. And the defense only had one, Erin Patterson herself.
I cannot believe they let her take the stand.
Well, she took the stand and told her life story, which was, pretty predictably sympathetic. She kind of I mean, I don't think she's lying. She presented herself kind of like a sad sack, you know, just like a middle-aged woman with really low self-esteem and just trying to get through the world. And, but the things there were two things that were very noticeable to me from her testimony. That's her story, which is that it was actually a sermon given by Ian Wilkinson that spawned her religious awakening. So she testified that she had been a fundamentalist atheist and then found Christianity from the very man they're saying she tried to kill.
Whoa. I feel like that's a lie to make her seem sympathetic.
I think
like,
so.
Why would I kill him? He
Right.
transformed my religion.
Right. Which also, if that's not a lie, that's crazy that she killed him. But also, as we said with the kid thing, like, she's not reasonable.
Yeah.
Her and her husband, Simon, were married at his church.
Yeah.
The other noticeable thing that was just skipped right over is that her parents didn't go to the wedding.
I think her dad died, didn't he?
If I understood what I read, it was that they were on a train in Russia taking a vacation.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay.
Which to me is like, oh, damn. So you didn't have a good relationship with your parents at all.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're like, oh, during your wedding, we'll be on vacation.
Yeah.
Or she's like, oh, I'm going to make sure to plan my wedding while they're in Russia.
Yeah.
You know, it's like either way to me that signifies she did not have a good relationship with them
Yeah.
and that Simon's parents kind of like were her family.
Yeah, which is a lot.
Yeah. She maintained she loved her in-laws despite some regular family ups and downs and was devastated by this horrific accident. I didn't find an article about her cross-examination, but I'm guessing they just expose all her lies because the jury found her guilty, excuse the burp, of all 3 counts of murder and 1 count of attempted murder.
Yeah, good.
So they
All right,
found her
great.
very guilty.
Good.
Ian felt like justice had been served. As for Simon, the only statements he really made publicly or on the stand was just that for him, the whole legal process had just been like extremely difficult on top of all of this heartbreaking loss.
Yeah.
So he was, I mean, understandably just like this is just the worst thing. And
Yeah.
he's like, all of this is also the worst thing.
Yeah.
And he didn't really ever, and he also was just like, I'm not allowed to talk about certain things because his poisonings couldn't be brought into evidence. He was like, I don't really understand why. Like, he was just really having a hard time, as of course you can understand. Why,
Yeah.
you know. So the judge sentenced her to 3 life sentences and 1 25-year sentence with the opportunity for parole after 33 years when she's 82 years old.
Whoa.
So
I don't think they should parole her. I think she's going to go back and do exactly the same
it
thing.
sounds like my guess would be that they will not parole her.
Yeah, that's not like somebody who's like really strong and beats people up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And like
yeah.
you release them when they're 82, they're probably not going to do anything.
Right.
It's
Like she's going to
this
poison
bitch can
someone.
get a dehydrator.
So my least favorite thing about this case is that everyone was just really, really mean to her about the way she looked and how she acted kind of like a loser, which made her the poisoning type. And she's clearly this sad woman that would murder all these innocent people. And they ended up being probably right, which makes me mad for that.
Well, I mean, I think that I would not have that take. I think like people always are mean or really weird about the way that people look when it comes to crimes.
Yeah.
Like, because if you're attractive, they make a huge deal about being attractive.
Sure.
And if you're
God
not
forbid, whatever
attractive,
ethnicity you are.
it just becomes like a whole part of
Yeah.
the way that press covers a story.
Totally,
And I
yeah.
do it too. Like I'm about to do one, and I just find it there's an aspect of this coupling that I just
Yeah.
find visually kind of funny that it keeps repeating itself between people.
Yeah.
And I said it because, you're also trying to paint a picture. I do get it, though, in that it's like there are ways to paint a picture. And then there's kind of like immediate. Like I remember there was this thing that was happening at 10 which, you know, I totally get and sometimes was funny. But like a thing about like Trump having a micro penis, and there was like pictures of him really often, like in his first term, there was like a lot of like caricatures like that. And I was like, you know, this is probably making like a section of humanity feel really shitty about themselves.
I know. Justice for the micro penis crew.
I mean, I was like, you know, sometimes it hits you sideways where you look at something and you laugh and you're like, what are we actually saying here?
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that it's very common that that's just the way that you like do stuff. And I would argue, I think that Erin Thompson is the type to play that up. You know, like that's
Erin Patterson.
It's
I think
like,
Erin Thompson's our homie. If you're listening, we love you.
Oh, sorry.
It's also spelled differently. Anyways.
Erin, I think also is like, you know, I'm a sympathetic person. You know, I'm confused. I don't know what's going on. I'm scared. You know, like, oh, I got confused and scared, so I lied to police about all these critical things.
Yeah.
You know, it's like at what point, you know, like I think that there is a sort of participation and sort of like, you know, she comes out of the car, right? In that infamous fake crying video.
Yeah.
And it's like she's kind of got a couple choices. One is to stand up for herself and say, get out of here. And then the other one is to sit there and just be like, woe is me, right? She wants to do that. She just can't produce the tears because it's not real. But it's like she's choosing to present herself that way. You know what I mean? If that's a fake video, she is sort of like, oh, woe is me. Like, I want people to see me that way. Oh, I have cancer. And then that's the only way that you're going to come see me and have lunch is if I tell you I have cancer. You know, like, I do think that it's also just something that she's playing up.
Yeah.
You know, so.
All right. Well, anyways, it really does seem like she did it. And someone is making a dramatized TV series about it.
Well.
The end.
The end. I love you so much. You did such a good job.
Shut up.
That was really funny. I'm really sorry the video didn't work again.
We'll see if it did.
Yeah, it definitely didn't. I don't think. I haven't had a video on my side for like 20 minutes.
All right, well, we're going to figure that part out. It is hilarious. Like, this is very funny. I know, like, most of the country here in America, it's like freezing cold.
Yeah.
We live in Los Angeles. It's literally hot.
I think we're having like a heat wave.
We are literally having we're like tan and like sweating.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right. We love you guys.
Love you guys. And guess what? You're part of our Patreon community. And we love you so much. You're about to get dumped on because we're about to record 2 more episodes and put them on. Y'all better be binging tonight. Yeah. Oh, you better be binging.
We're going to show up in our white pants and rock hard.
Yeah.